Welcome back. It's your boy Fresh.
And I'm Mary, and we are a Co-ople of nerds. And today we are going to be tackling our board game backlog.
Yes, at the insistence of Mary, we are tackling the board game backlog, and we thought, we did the 0 to Z, or we are doing the 0 to Z video game backlog, so we wanted to do it a little bit differently, and our friends over at the Meeple Society are doing theirs A to Z, so we didn't want to totally copy off them. We wanted to put our little spin on it. So there's a fantastic board game website called BoardGameGeek.com.
If you're a real board gamer, you have to use Board Game Geek.
Yes, yeah, I wish video games had this. They do have a VideoGameGeek.com, but it's not nowhere near as used. Not 1/10,000th as used as Board Game Geek. But anyways, you get on there and you can rate games, and then they take all those rankings or all those ratings and compile them into rankings. But we did it by rating, and we're starting with the worst, so we can get rid of some of the crud a little bit easier, open up some of the space so we can find some space for some of the backlog games that someone buys and they kind of sit around for a little bit. I don't know.
Before we begin, don't forget to give us a like, a subscribe, and follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
That's right. So, tackling the backlog, starting with our lowest rated game. Actually, it's not. There is no rating on it. It is Inky's Fortune.
Ah! It just shot me in the face! Ah! I just pulled the little prick and it went off! Well, he's a sensitive little thing. Now I'm covered in his goo. That one got in my mouth. You should be ashamed of yourself.
So this is a dexterity game in which you're trying to pull gems out and not
get inked.
And not get ink, not get sprayed with ink. Obviously, it's a kid's game. Yeah. I think this game has about 2 years left in our collection. I think Gracie's pretty much done with it. She's kind of moved on. George is still he's still interested. So
got to keep that one around for George at least for the time.
So it has no rating on Board Game Geek. What's your rating of Inky's Fortune?
I mean, it's a solid 2 or 3, right?
You have to give it. You can go 2, 2.5, or 3.
I'll do 2.5.
I was gonna do a 2. There's not really much game there. You just pull these and try to not. There's like there's a board here and then a thing in here, and the gems kind of got these long stems, and if you pull them,
they're twisted in there. And
this lifts up too much, it triggers the mechanism and he sprays. There's really no game in it. It's more just an activity. So we add our scores together, divide by 2.
2.25.
Right. We'll round down. Give it 2.
So we're going here's corner.
And we're also gonna keep track of who won all these, and do a man versus machine type of scoring system. See who wins the most videos. So up next. So this one really surprised me that it was rated so low. It is The Lord of the Rings the Fellowship of the Ring. It is our, Inky's Fortune isn't rated at all. It's not completely a board game. But the cool thing about this is it does have this little cardboard fold out of, what do they call this mountain? Is it Mount Doom?
Mordor? No.
Mordor. And it's where they push they cause the avalanche on them. You can kind of see them like hiking up the mountain. But you can move your pieces up here. That's the coolest thing. I just showed you the coolest thing.
Mordor is a place. Yeah, I think it's Mount Doom.
Mount Doom. Yeah. This is not a board game. This is reading Lord of the Rings on cards in an order that may or may not 100% match up with the movie, because sometimes the party gets split and certain things you'll hit a certain spot on the board before another spot.
There's a lot of issues with the game where, like, we had to start over at one point because we were like, are we playing it wrong? Because there's no way, because we're doing the way that, like, where we landed, when we landed, it didn't work.
Yeah. And, like, so you collect all of the party members are in it. They probably could have cut half those dudes out. And so you roll the dice, move one character. If you hit a ring spot, you read the card. Sometimes you'll have little dexterity checks or strength checks, but normally it's just reading a little spot in the movie. But then you got to do it again and again and again and again for every single character. I think there's like 8 or 9 of them.
Yeah, you got to move them all through.
So you don't want to leave anyone behind, so you're just constantly rolling dice to just move these other worthless people.
And then the game ends.
And no, the game does not end.
But it doesn't end.
Please attach, the 2 towers. So you got to buy the second one, and then you got to buy the third one. To get the full Lord of the Rings story, you got to buy 3
to be continued
crappy games. The whole point is to get these good points, and it's got this little tracker, and if you get too evil, you roll the dice and move that much towards the center. If you get too good, you roll the dice and move that much to the center.
It does have the cool ring in it, though. It's like from looks like the Lord of the Rings ring, right? Okay,
we've named the 2 positive. It has rings in it, and it's got the little foldable mountain. What is your rating?
2.
This is a 1, hands down a 1. This is the worst game I've ever played.
It's a bad game.
I'd rather play Inky's Fortune all the time than that game.
But it had the ring in it, so I gave it a 2. Okay, I was being nice.
We're not nice. It was awful.
It was pretty bad.
I'm not even going to give it to Goodwill. I'm literally going to throw it in the trash. I don't want someone else to get suckered into that. That's how bad that game was.
Because we got it at Goodwill.
We did get it at Goodwill. Shame on you. That one's gone, by the way. We'll keep Inky's Fortune for a little bit, but that one's gone. Oh, that was on the rating on Board Game Geek was 3.28. People are being way too generous.
I think it's people who really, really, really like the books and the movies.
Watch the movie or read the books. Don't read the movie on cards.
Sometimes when you're a fan, you're a fan. There's just nothing you can do.
The worst case scenario game of surviving life. I hate this because it's basically just a deck of cards and a board, and they give you this giant box.
It's like your number 1 pet peeve is wasted space. Yeah.
So Board Game Geek has this at 3.36. What did you think of it?
I would say it was like a 4. I mean, it was kind of fun to have a few drinks and split up into teams, boys versus girls, and we did that. And
did we split up into teams?
Yeah, it was.
Oh yeah, I won. No. Yeah, I did.
You and Matt.
Lord of the Rings.
Oh, you won Lord of the Rings. Yeah. You and Matt against me and Allie.
Yeah. I thought basically it's just a trivia game.
Yeah, and trivia games don't stand the test of time.
That's right. This one was made. I think this one's pretty old. 2006. That's not too bad.
Not terrible, but
yeah. Trivia games. I'm not the biggest fan of. And it wasn't. I thought it'd be cool, like survival scenarios. Some of them have multiple right answers. One is just more right. But then they also like threw in stuff about like in-laws and job interviews.
Wasn't there one in there though that was like, who has played Batman? And wasn't Ben Affleck on the list?
No, that was a different game.
That was a different game. Okay, yeah.
I think that was Trivia Pursuit. Which one of these actors have never been Batman? And Ben
Affleck at that time had never been Batman, and he later became Batman.
I'm gonna give it a 2.
So I guess it's a 3 because I said 4.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Up next, a rating of 3.68. Littlest Pet Shop game.
We mostly got this game because it has the Littlest Pet Shop figures in it, and
That's
those
right.
are actually worth quite a bit of money.
Yeah, so this is just a roll and move, or actually spin and move. Our daughter likes Littlest Pet Shop. Mary likes Littlest Pet Shop.
It was just a little collection.
You like it. It's okay.
They're cute.
It's okay.
They're cute.
It's
They're
okay.
so cute. I like cute little things.
What are you trying to say? Yeah, it's fine. The pieces are cute. It does have a little take that in it, which I thought was weird for a kids game, because you could steal other people's awards. You're trying to get first player to get all 3 items and get to the pet show first wins. So when we played it, I stole one of Mary's items and won.
Yes.
Cheers to that. So what do you give it?
A 2.
2? So you liked Worst Case Scenario better than
I did.
Littlest Pet Shop?
Yeah. I did.
It's a roll and move. It's not. I'll agree with you. I'll say 2. Well, the figures are cute. I'll go 3 because it has the real figures. They didn't go like a smaller version of the same characters. It's the real figures. I'll give it a 3 on that.
Okay.
That one will probably stay in our collection for a little bit, just because the girls are big fans of Littlest Pet Shop. Up next, we got Fact or Crap. So this is another trivia game in which they have, it's basically true or false. They just call it Fact or Crap.
It's like you have 3 things, right? And one of them is crap, and you have to pick which one's crap.
No. It's just different questions. They just loaded it up with questions.
Oh, yeah, you pick.
Yeah, so you get to pick. They put 3 questions on a card, I guess, so you can either try to give them one that they think they'll know, or you think they won't know. This is the one with the rush hour, so like the challenge where you could challenge someone directly, and there's like 5 questions, and each one get right, they get a point. Each one they get wrong, you get a point. So if it's all sports and someone at the table doesn't know anything about sports, you can try to get a bunch of points on them. 3.82 is the rating on Board Game Geek. What do you give it?
3?
I think 3 is fair. I think it's better than Worst Case Scenario. Not by much, but I thought the questions were more interesting than Worst Case Scenario. Which is weird. I would have thought it would have been the other way around. Alright. 3.85, Meme the Game. Oh, Fact or Crap is gone. We'll get rid of that one. What did you think about Meme
It was
the
okay.
Game?
It wasn't, I mean, I know that you weren't the biggest fan of it. And, I guess the game, like the way you play the game mechanism, I wasn't the biggest fan of that.
Yeah, I definitely think they should have just copied apples to apples, where the dealer just shows a picture. You pick whichever phrase in your hand is funniest, and they pick one at random, or pick one that they think is funniest. This one has you're supposed to build 3 memes each round of voting. Everyone gets to vote. So once someone is 1 point away from winning, you can essentially just stop voting for them and extend the game out longer and longer and longer. And I just think that's bad design. If you have this, play it the apples way. If you're smart, don't buy it at all. What's your rating?
I would say a 3 because, again, we did play that with some friends. And
So I think it's worse than Factor Crap. I'm going to go with 2.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Up next at 4.11, we got Hungry Hungry Hippos. Ready? So it's going to be worth 3 points. Okay. 1, 2, 3. This way, I'm on the wrong side.
Oh, the yellow one's coming my way! Come here! Come on. Come on. Oh, it's so close! Ah, I got it! No, it's
you spit it out!
I think he's full! He might be full.
Yeah, I think you are full.
Oh, that's not fair. You cheated.
No, you crushed me.
This has stood the test of time from our childhood.
This has stood the test of time. You're absolutely right. The balls did not stand the test of a puppy. Some of those were destroyed. All the yellow ones. He only ate the yellow ones. The red ones he didn't care about.
What do you do? Was the yellow ones like extra points?
I think the yellow ones are supposed to be extra. I threw the instruction booklet away because every time you try to cram this thing
Might
in,
have to
it would
Google
just
that.
get. Yeah, the kids really care about that. So what is your ranking?
Okay, so I'm gonna go with like either a 4 or a 5 because the kids love it and it doesn't require too much thinking. It's fun.
Yeah, it's probably got about 2 more years left in the collection, and then it'll go away. But I think it's a solid 4. I think the kids still, they all cheat like crazy, grabbing them with their hands, and
especially George.
George will cry if he doesn't get the one yellow one left. It's good family fun. Up next, we got Operation. And, as a bonus, Operation Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yes.
Episode. The Oogie Boogie Man is the one getting operated on that one. Again, another game that stood the test of time.
Yeah.
I remember playing this as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I think the batteries on these things last forever. It's so little juice every time you trip
And the
it.
kids just love jumping. Ah!
Yeah, I get it spooks them each time. So Board Game Geek has this at 4.13. I think that's about right. I'd probably go 4.5. I think it's a little bit better than Hungry Hungry Hippos, but just a good classic
Yeah.
game. What about you?
I would have said a 5.
Okay.
So, yeah. Close.
All right, up next. So there was one game that we cut out. I think it slides in here. It's Home Alone. Mm-hmm. But we thought about adding that to a little Christmas video. So we'll do that one later. Duel Masters. So, this is, I think it's our first. I thought this was Yu-Gi-Oh! Doesn't that guy look like a Yu-Gi-Oh guy?
Yeah.
Maybe it is, but it doesn't say anything about Yu-Gi-Oh!
It doesn't.
He looked like that dude.
Really nice art.
Yeah, I thought the art was pretty cool. So this one is sort of a area control kind of combat game, where you're trying to collect, is it 5 discs?
4 or 5.
Yeah, I think it's 5 colors, because same as Magic. It was also made by Wizards of the Coast, so I thought maybe it was Magic. But yeah, so you're trying to get 5 discs with these monsters. These monsters are, I think, 2 to 7. Yeah, 2 to 7 in power and speed. Yeah. Or no, 1 to 7. So it kind of works and then kind of doesn't work. So, we were playing, and I think your 1 beat my 4.
Yeah, because it's all based on how you roll the dice.
Right. So their number is their speed, how many spaces they can move, plus their power, how many dice you get to roll.
Yeah.
But you only count dice that are either A, the wild, or B, match your color.
Yeah.
So in one particular case, I rolled 4 dice and got 0 of my color, 0 wilds. She rolled 1 dice and got 1. So her 1 powered monster beat my 4 powered monster. And
that happened even vice versa.
Yeah. I think a 6 beat a 2 beat a 6.
Yeah.
It was. That's super fast. You could play this.
We played 3 games, I think, in like 20 or 30 minutes.
Yeah. I think it was closer to 20. Super fast. It just wasn't all that interesting. It lacked story and theme and.
Well, it's for kids, ages 6 and up.
Yeah,
it says.
6 and up, I guess. I don't know. The whole thing. Also, to summon the monsters, you have to roll their number or greater on a 12-sided dice. So when you miss that roll, you just do nothing for your turn.
Yeah, you lose your turn.
That's a little too punishing. I think whenever either one of us missed, I think we just lost. You just do nothing your turn, you just lose. So yeah, it's fine. I think we have so many better area control or combat games. I mean, Unmatched just absolutely annihilates this game. It's not even close. So I think if we were going to play a game like this, I think we would just play Unmatched.
Unmatched, yeah. So what's your ranking? It's given a 4.5 rating on Board Game Geek. So what?
Yeah, I think I'm a little. It is kind of a kid's game. I think I'll go 4.
Okay.
What about you?
I was gonna go 5.
Okay. So yeah, 4.5. You average them together.
Yeah. That matches.
All right, last game. Disney Shadowed Kingdom. Now, this one is a cooperative, 2-player cooperative card game in which you're trying to push. You got a little 2x2 grid. You're trying to push crystals towards other players, towards your partner, to bring the good side of Disney out, and trying to push. But if you accidentally push the shadow out, you get that. And oh man, this game was kind of just a jumbled mess. I think that's the best way to describe it, because there's so many times. Like, I'll have, what cards you laid down,
right?
But there's so many cards that just shuffle them.
Yeah.
Just all the time, it felt like we were shuffling every turn. I'm like, well, it's one of them in there, so I'll just push one and see what happens.
Kind of like a little bit like a game of memory, but then you
constantly shuffle play memory, but constantly shuffle the cards.
But yeah, but I mean, you're playing blindly off the other person's cards too. So, you know, you remember your cards. So even if you're really good at remembering your cards, you don't know what their cards are. So, you know, you try to put your card in a position so that it can get played, and maybe you push theirs out of position and theirs is shadow. And
Right, yeah.
it's like, well...
It didn't hit that... It did have a little... nice little theming to it. You know, all the different locations, and you play as a character, and if your character's location came up, you got a special ability.
Yeah.
Like, that was kind of neat, but just overall, I don't know if I'll say bad. Overall, it was boring. I think that's a horrible thing for a game to be, is boring. We're just constantly shuffling these cards. We have no idea what's going on. Just push a card now.
It's a cooperative game, so it's not like I hate it because I lost against you or something. I just hated it.
So what's your
I give that one a 1. Not even joking. I give that one a 1.
That's not as bad as if you had to play Lord of the Rings or Disney Shadow Kingdom.
I would play Lord of the Rings.
No, you wouldn't.
I would read the story of Lord of the Rings and enjoy it rather than that jumbled mess. I would enjoy that more.
Alright, this one is not a kid's game, so I can go full hard on it. I'm not going to go as hard as Mary is. I think this is a 3.
So it becomes a 2.
Yeah, so we'll rank it as a 2. That one's gone. Duel Master's gone. We'll keep one of the 2 operations.
We got to keep Nightmare Before Christmas.
The Nightmare
our
Before
kids love
Christmas.
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yep. And I love Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
Screw the kids. I don't even like them. Well, that'll do it. Not a whole lot of exciting games.
Well,
we're basically
it only gets better from here.
There you go. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye. Hey, Pumpkin.
Hmm?
What are you thankful for?
A lot of things. A lot of things.
A lot of things you can't name?
I can name them. Thankful for my kids, you, our house, my job, functioning cars, our paparuskis. Lots of things.
I'm thankful for gin and tonic and a little grenadine.